There's a moment that almost everyone experiences when they pause and look at their finances. Maybe it's late at night, your laptop open, spreadsheets scattered, a lingering sense of frustration. You're thinking, I work hard, I save, I try to be smart, but why does it feel like I'm barely moving forward? That quiet doubt sits heavy. You're not alone. Many people feel it, but few act on it, and the ones who do almost always start with a single, simple decision that eventually compounds far beyond what they imagined. My name is Williams, and I've spent more than a decade studying investing, markets, and financial behavior. I've guided people through the subtle shifts that turn uncertainty into predictable growth, and today I want to walk you through what happens when someone invests $100,000 into the top 5 index funds. Not as a fantasy, but as a practical strategy that can quietly reshape your financial life over a decade. Here's the first contrarian insight. Most people think wealth begins with extraordinary income, a lucky stock tip, or a one-time windfall. That assumption keeps them in survival mode. The reality is different. Wealth begins when you make your money work consistently, predictably, without dependence on your labor every hour of every day. When you invest in index funds thoughtfully, you are stepping into a system designed to grow with the economy, to leverage compounding, and to transform patience into tangible results. The shift isn't immediate, and that's precisely why it works. At first, investing $100,000 can feel intimidating. It's a significant sum, and the markets are unpredictable. You might think you need perfect timing, insider knowledge, or high-risk maneuvers. But the turning point, the subtle, unexpected moment comes when you recognize that the strategy is simple. Diversify across 5 reliable index funds, contribute consistently if possible, and allow time and compounding to do the heavy lifting. This realization changes your relationship with risk. You stop chasing short-term gains and start trusting the process. That trust is invisible at first, but it quietly transforms decisions and mindset over time. Here's why the invisible threshold matters. Let's say your $100,000 is divided evenly among the 5 funds, each yielding a conservative 7% annual return, including capital appreciation and dividends. That alone is $7,000 per year, roughly $583 per month, without touching the principal. It's not enough to make headlines, but it's enough to make bills less stressful, to open the door to choices that didn't exist before, and to shift your thinking from scarcity to optionality. You can begin to see emergencies not as crises, but as manageable events, and opportunities not as risks, but as strategic options. That's the real power of consistent investing. It changes your perception of money before it even fully changes your balance sheet. The psychological transformation at this stage is profound. Survival mode is dominated by scarcity, fear, and reactive behavior. Every expense feels urgent, every unexpected bill feels catastrophic. Growth mode is different. Once your index funds begin producing predictable results, you gain mental bandwidth. You can assess situations strategically rather than react out of stress. Your decisions start to reflect long-term thinking rather than immediate anxiety. You're no longer negotiating life from a place of fear, you're designing it from a position of quiet confidence. Let's put this in perspective with simple, realistic math. A $100,000 portfolio earning 7% annually grows to $107,000 in the first year. Add a disciplined approach, say contributing an additional $1,000 per month across the 5 funds, and compounding accelerates dramatically. After 10 years, assuming modest market growth and reinvested dividends, the portfolio could exceed $300,000. Monthly returns and dividends alone could provide $1,500 to $2,000 per month in cash flow. That's not magic. And it's certainly not hype. It's consistent behavior, patient execution, and the reliable mathematics of compounding over time. The identity shift is subtle but unmistakable. Someone who invests in index funds patiently learns discipline, delayed gratification, and self-trust. Their financial decisions begin to reflect strategic thinking rather than emotional impulses. Control over money replaces obsession with money. You begin to see the difference between emergencies and opportunities clearly. A sudden car repair or an unexpected medical expense becomes manageable, not catastrophic. Job decisions or side projects transform from reactive necessity to optional choices. You are gradually shaping a life where financial stability frees mental space to pursue meaningful goals rather than merely survive. The effect on decision making is profound. Small daily choices, once stressful, fade into the background. Coffee, meals, and minor purchases no longer dictate behavior. Life-level decisions, housing, transportation, career, and long-term investments suddenly carry more weight because you now have a framework to evaluate opportunity cost accurately. Every dollar spent on depreciation, convenience, or impulsive choices is weighed against what could have grown in your index funds. This is clarity, not restriction. It's a disciplined form of freedom. The career implications are equally important. Having $100,000 invested across top index funds doesn't just grow wealth, it builds leverage. You gain what I call walking away money, a buffer that gives you confidence to negotiate salaries, leave unfulfilling jobs, or pursue projects that matter without panic. Your posture changes. The calm that comes from knowing you have financial breathing room influences how others perceive and respond to you. That quiet power often leads to outcomes that no single raise or bonus ever could. Yet, caution is essential. A growing portfolio is a foundation, not a reward. Lifestyle inflation, the temptation to upgrade cars, apartments, or other conveniences can quickly undermine progress. Every decision to spend on non-productive assets has an opportunity cost. 10 years of disciplined investing can be erased by a few large, unnecessary purchases. Protecting your financial foundation is as much about behavior as it is about returns. Awareness of opportunity cost is crucial. Every $50,000 spent unnecessarily could have generated $3,500 per year at 7% yield. And over 10 years, compounding magnifies that difference significantly. This is not judgment, it is clear, unemotional accounting of choices. Over a decade, a consistent, diversified index fund strategy transforms not only finances, but mindset. Monthly returns may begin as modest, but the effect compounds. Bills no longer dictate your stress levels. Opportunities appear more manageable. Small risks can be taken thoughtfully because you have a foundation that absorbs error. You operate strategically, not reactively. Your identity aligns with your discipline, not your immediate circumstances. You've shifted from surviving paycheck to paycheck to designing a life with freedom, choice, and mental clarity. The final, subtle, but powerful effect is quiet confidence. By the end of 10 years, the $100,000 invested grows beyond the numbers on a statement. It changes the way you engage with life. You make decisions deliberately, not out of fear. Stress scenarios are navigable, not overwhelming. Career, housing, and investment choices are weighed thoughtfully. Financial independence, at this level, isn't about ostentatious wealth. It's about control, calm, and the ability to respond to life rather than be consumed by it. Monthly contributions, reinvested dividends, and disciplined patience transform more than your bank balance. They transform your relationship with money, your decision-making, and ultimately, your identity. The portfolio becomes a tool to reclaim time and focus. You begin thinking in decades, not days. Your future self looks back and quietly thanks you, not because you stumbled into a lucky market boom, but because you built a patient, disciplined system that rewards consistency and clarity. Investing $100,000 in the top 5 index funds is not glamorous. It doesn't promise instant riches. It doesn't make headlines, but it creates quiet freedom, reliable growth, and a profound shift in how you perceive money, opportunity, and risk. Discipline, patience, and consistency quietly replace stress and scarcity. That is the real transformation, and it is far more powerful than the illusion of rapid wealth. My name is Williams, and if you start today with intention, focus, and patience, you will experience that transformation. 10 years from now, you'll look back and recognize that small, steady choices built the foundation for freedom, control, and confidence that no single paycheck could ever provide. Thanks for listening. I'll see you in the next video.